Okay, yes, am I streaming? Am I actually live? Am I live, all the way live? Am I actually live? Because I am dead inside. Okay, now I am. Okay, thank you. I hate you, Ed. You can die. Let me make this a little smaller. No, that's not how that works. That's not what I wanted. Oh, okay. Wait. I can do that. Yes. I know I'm depriving you of my beauty, but this is what's going to be. So, welcome to another Office Hours. Please feel free to ask questions, or I'm going to drink this fruit smoothie that's looking like some centrifugation happened to it. So, yeah, feel free to ask your questions. Check the description of this video. There is a link for the July 4th open mic. It's also open to like voice actors or trans voice people, or just general like non-singing voice people. You can read a prompt of 10, not 10, not no 10, we ain't got time for 10, of 5 minutes or less, preferably less, and you can get live feedback on your voice at any kind of level you want. Unfortunately, we don't have a ranking system, and I don't think we necessarily should have a ranking system for like non-singing voice, especially trans voice. I don't want to rank trans voice. But yeah, we can still give you very detailed, pointed feedback. So please come take advantage of that. Why are y'all not asking questions? Y'all got all the questions when I'm not trying to answer your questions. But y'all want to have no questions when I'm right here live. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Jingles asks, I have a question. Why is my voice so feminine for being a boy? Online people confuse me for being a girl often, but I'm a boy. I know a lot of trans girls that wish they could have that problem. But, and they can have that problem. Well, I guess they're not boys, but they want to get mistaken, quote unquote, for girls. So, why is the voice feminine? I recommend watching, no, not even, especially Amelia's video on voice feminization. I think like fem voice in 2 minutes or less. And there are a lot of these attributes of feminizing your voice that some guys just take on subconsciously. Some cis guys just subconsciously learn to start speaking with more feminine attributes, maybe because they are surrounded by women, maybe because they identify more with the women in their lives despite still identifying as a male internally. So there's lots of reasons for that. There's something called lavender linguistics, which is the study of how language is used in LGBT communities. One finding that they had, and there's a little documentary on this, is that gay guys tend to speak with more forward consonants, so they push forward their consonants so they're a little bit brighter and it sounds almost like a lisp. So that's where the stereotype of the gay lisp comes from, because they're emulating the consonants, the brightness of the consonants that they hear in the women in their lives, for whatever reason that is. Okay, so, yeah, Krampus is guessing high pitch and high up in quotient. That's part of it as well. So it's definitely like there's wells run deep among folks. Okay. Krampus is forwarding a question from Rika, and Rika's question is, what do I think about anchoring as Estelle describes it? I'm really bad about actually like separating out what pedagogy I learned something from. So everything is just like a soup of information in my head, so I don't necessarily know like the difference between Estelle's view of anchoring versus other people. I just know what kinds of opinions of anchoring exist out there. I'm the worst at like attributing, and I try to get better about that. So I don't know specifically how I feel about Estelle's definition of anchoring. The only person that I actively know and can attribute stuff to is Lisa Popeil when it comes to anchoring. Great pedagogue, Lisa Popeil. Y'all should check her out. But Estelle, I don't know. Okay, so what do you think enables non-belted M1 range expansion from a physiological perspective, and how high could that possibly be extended to? So there is the difference. So M1 is, for those of you who don't know, it's commonly referred to as chest voice some of the time, and belting is basically when you drag that chest voice up and it starts to be yelling. So how can you increase how far your chest voice goes up before you get to yelling? So if I just drag my chest voice up, eventually it's going to start becoming yelly. So it's not going to be yelly at the bottom, it's going to be yelly at the top like this. So, so like by the time I get to the top, it's very yelly. So how do you stave that off and stay in this non-yelled M1 for longer? So for one, I canonically think of non-belted M1 as going up to like around F5 max. I haven't been like careful enough to really sort out the exact stopping point. Above that, it is possible to use M1 and not have it sound like belting, but it will often feel like belting. So in my teaching, I still like to approach it as belting. But it's like it's a belt that we're going to like pull back. So let me get some notes. Oh, I'm scared. So, say I am at, like I said, it normally stops in F4. So that popped because it's M1. And then as you start getting higher to maybe like A4 especially, I want to put a harder limit around there because belting changes around A4. So if I want to do an A4 in M1 and not have it sound like belt, I can sort of like do what I call a concealed fake belt. For more on fake belt, make sure to request the module. I can't give y'all modules if y'all not telling me what y'all want to hear and learn. Wait, what was that? I'm scared. So if I want to do that, normally if I just hit that in M1, it'd be like, ah! It's my default way of hitting it, but I can make it a little bit softer and be like, ah! See, it's still M1. Ah! Still M1, but it's a lot lighter. Ah! So that's what I call it, like a concealed fake, and I let a little bit of air out of my vocal cords and stabilize with my false folds. Yes, the false folds aren't cancer. And that could possibly extend it to, I think, A4 is where I would cut off. Do I have any tips for Fem M1 singing? I have some tips for you and for Alvin. But I try okay, so basically they're asking what strategies, or she's asking what strategies she should use from going from having a feminine speaking voice to then using that feminine voice while singing in like a spoken range to sort of make the question accessible to a lay audience. So what I would say about that is, yes, you probably have to do feminine stuff even more with your voice when you go to sing, not because of any like biological reason that people that are assigned female at birth have like something about singing that feminize their voice more. I think just sociologically in our culture, we expect everyone to feminize when they sing, like including men, or do things that kind of like feminize your voice. We like this aesthetic of lighter, more docile, more like singing in this higher earwormy range. So we like voices like that. Shit is good, but it's so fucking like, ugh, at the top. I'm so mad! This movie was so good! Ugh, now it's like separating out. Okay, so, yeah, so to acclimate to that and to give them what they're looking for in that regard, you're probably going to have to dial up Fem even more than when you talk. Like Dakota's experienced it, a lot of people who go to sing. And it'd be interesting to hear Amelia's perspective on this as well. But I feel like you have to feminize more when you sing in Western cultures, or at least like in mainstream Western white cultures, that you got to feminize more because they like their women like soft and docile and breakable and Becky. So yeah, if you're trying to sing in that cultural context, you probably need even more femininity. So, Corey asks, question, do operatic sopranos use breath pressure to blast notes in the 6th octave? Do the strap muscles need to be strong enough to stabilize the larynx for that? Potentially, I don't know if they need to be as strong as they are in belt. Yes, I do think they tend to use higher breath pressure. They also use, as I've been like screaming about on social media recently, speaking of which, I have something to talk about after this. And also, by the way, if you're watching this video, if you like the advice I am giving and you want more of it, please like, share, and subscribe. Do they use higher breath pressure in the 6th octave? I think absolutely, definitely, and I think there's a higher threshold of air pressure that you need as you get past that A5. So the piercingness of those high notes combined with the higher threshold of air pressure that you need for those notes makes those notes naturally loud. There's other like laryngeal tract adjustments that also can add ring, and there's, I think, more things you can take advantage of for ring at those higher notes. And there also is in operatic sopranos, you have the formant tuning that they use, like changing the vowel structure to get these like multiplier bonuses for higher notes. So yeah, that is what? Oh my god. That's funny, Steve. Okay, so speaking of operatic sopranos modifying vowels, just people modifying vowels in general, this Sunday at 2 p.m. I hope I will link this video in voice text chat in the chat on Snoop Dogg, I'll get to your question in a second. Let me link this. I'm scared if I leave this that I'll never make it back. I posted the link on Reddit. Let me open up my Reddit. .com. I'm not logged in on Reddit in this. Damn it. I'm trying to find the quickest way to get there because I'm scared of opening up. Let me just open up another YouTube. Now you can see all the crap I watch on YouTube. Because I like would watch some stuff with trans voice. Now just like and I have some friends who do YouTube stuff who are trans. Like my homepage is always like trans issues on this. Okay. So sorry, there's like a little inside joke inside my recommended videos. Creative Studio. Oh god, I'm scared. I don't want y'all to see my stream key. Okay, good. Y'all can't see my stream key. In fact, let me enlarge, because I don't trust y'all hoes. Let me enlarge my face, my glorious face, so y'all can't see my stream keys, because I don't trust you hoes. Okay, so I'm going to do a live stream on the topic of vowel modifications. I basically want to do like a challenge where that it can be done, and I'll try to show you how you can do it too. A lot of people are like, well, I can't do a head voice on an E vowel, and I can't belt on an U vowel. So like, I'll try to give you as many of those things as possible. I might give like a little preview of that stuff now. I said don't save! Wait, what? I'm so upset. Why? Why won't it give me my damn video? Okay, let me search for all my ranting about this. Okay, I found the link. So this link is where I will be yelling on Sunday. I'm going to post it in the comments here, and I'm going to post it on the video chat. Okay, speaking of video chat, Snoop asks on the video chat, how can you avoid a squeezed or pressed quality as you go higher? I think a lot of that is mental. You have to deassociate higher from harder. Higher doesn't mean harder. Higher means different strategy. Like, people think that why people think whistle register is so amazing, and I'm just giving away all my trade secrets. I'm just letting y'all see behind the golden doors to see that singing really ain't shit. That people think that whistle register is this like amazing gift, and it's so difficult or whatever because it's higher than what they can do, and they automatically assume higher means way harder. There are like, it is way easier for me to hit something that's in the middle of whistle register. So it's way easier for me to hit like an A6. Wow, that was awful. Maybe it's not easier. So it's way easier for me to do that than it is for me to do this in M2. So to use the mechanism or register below whistle, that actually took me more effort to do that in M2. So a lot of people think that higher just essentially means harder, and it's not necessarily harder. It just means like a different strategy depending on what neighborhood you're in, like finding the right sort of spot, the right coordination for those notes, what the coordination that best works in that spot is. So I would say, in order to make those notes easier and less like pressed and stressed, like really don't stress about them. Learn to, like, you have to actively teach your subconscious. Higher doesn't necessarily mean harder. So that's the most important thing. And you can slide in that optimum resonance G spot. Amen. Amen, Mia. Okay, so a pimp's prayer. Slide in that resonance G spot. So I would say you can use like yawning and sirens and other like relaxed drills as a way of sort of easing on into those higher notes. So like a trying high notes like that won't sound good at first, but it's a lot more relaxed, and you're not like you're not stressing about the high note as much. And the other thing I'd recommend is a pendulum siren. There's more advanced drills, but those vary depending on what specific range and how much you're paying me. And you're not paying me, so. But the other drill I'll give you is what I call the reverse pendulum siren, where you start low, go high, go low, go high. You start going wider and wider. So like, ooh. So you want to do slides like that to really make the range feel elastic. So those are the things you can do to avoid pressing that relates to range. Okay. Let me fix up the thing because I'm not in jeopardy anymore. I don't need y'all to be seeing me this deeply, this intensely. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Okay, let me answer Dan Cho's question because he asked his questions before I don't know people's pronouns. Dan Cho's question before. I'm assuming I get like a huge ass question. Yeah, it is a huge ass question. Okay, so Dan Cho asks, okay, so about the growl in the video that I sent you a while ago, how do I do that? Also, I got a couple questions about distortion. Bitch, you're trying to get like a 3-for-1. You're trying to get 15-for-1 special. I got a couple questions about distortion. When I looked around, people were saying that it's a red flag and my voice will go poof, which is a lie. No, your voice will not go poof just because you're doing distortion. Like, their wigs might be going poof. Their very, very limited concept of what is physically possible might be going poof. But distortion does not inherently hurt your voice. Okay. So the growl in the video they sent me was a growl in a video called something like Beyonce teaches Christina Aguilera how to growl, and she does a false fold distortion on F5. I feel like I can play that. Like that, I gotta be able to play that without getting a copyright strike. I'm annoyed. Like, let YouTube come for me. I get my money from Patreon anyways. Which, if you want to support me, my Patreon link is in the description of this very video. Where it at, though? No. There we go. Oh, I think I know this one. It's Me, Myself, and I. Like a lot of people are like, oh my god, that's so incredible, that's everything, and it is good. Beyonce's great, but it's actually a lot easier to do it with the distortion. In my experience, if you're good with distortion, it makes belting a lot less effort. That's something I can talk about later. But yeah, I would say that is a very false foldy distortion, maybe leaning a little bit into what is called rumble, where you start to use the back of the tongue for it a little bit more. Let me see if I can get one out, just to snatch a couple wigs. Remind y'all who the baddest bitch is. Let me give myself a reference up. What the hell is that noise? Not that it's over, stop calling me! So, that type of distortion actually makes that easier than, not that it's over, stop calling me! Like, you hear, like, a little struggle as I did the note clean. It's because it's harder and I'm unwarmed up as hell. But, yeah. So that can actually make the note easier to do. So hopefully that debunks the whole, like, growl is inherently dangerous. On this server, I like to try to use more standardized terms. I'm not sure if growl has been set emotion. So I would use the term false distortion for what she's doing in that video. So yeah, if your voice is doing it like by default and all your voice can do is distort, then you probably have some issues, but the distortion isn't the issue usually, or causing the issue. It's like you using distortion as a crutch. As you saw, I just use it as a crutch to cover the fact that my F5 bell ain't shit right now. But if you are leaning into these distortions to cover that, you probably have something else that's like wrong with your voice. There's plenty of vocal conditions where the false folds are used to compensate for issues on the true folds, but that doesn't mean the false folds are an issue. Yeah. So, ooh, shots fired at Kent Tamplin. Okay, I'm gonna like read this and then give a summary because it's a lot. So the only popular vid about distortion is Kent Tamplin's. It's not really helpful. How do you improve your tone? You figure out what kinds of tones that you like. Tone I use to mean the color of my voice. So like you have a pitch, but you also have the color of your voice while hitting that pitch. So like, this might be a thicker tone, and this might be a thinner tone, and like it's the same notes, but I'm around like the same amplitude, but one is like a thicker texture. So for changing the texture of your voice, I would say work on finding models of tone that you like, because tone is very subjective. Her brush report. Okay, so the breast support stuff, I would need to know what your specific needs are, but usually breast support is more about breath management than taking in some deep breath or like developing an iron lung. So, or being like hooked up to an iron lung. Maybe, okay, so falsetto. Getting your falsetto from falsetto to head voice, the number one drill that I say to do is do glottal strikes. If you have like a really leaky thin M2 like this, and you want to have more presence like this, you want to do first glottal strikes and then other stuff that you have to pay me for. But other stuff that I'll talk about later because I gotta get to other people's questions. So a glottal strike would be like, and once you got the handle of doing that, it's not loud, it's percussive. And once you get the handle of being really percussive like that, you can graduate. Oh my god, I'm so annoyed at this top layer not dissolving. Once you get that down, you can start extending the strikes like Yeah, oh, okay. How do you actually do distortion? That was a part of the question I missed. See, y'all hoes will be like, oh, we don't have any questions. Oh no, we're good. We're just gonna bombard you with 15 questions in your DMs right after this video. Okay. Snip Dog, can you read for? Okay, why does nasal airflow that Tristan talks about make singing higher easier? I don't know. It might be some resonance tuning stuff. It might be some. A lot of people talk about like this unobstructed pharyngeal space for high notes, but it's like, for me, like vowels in the mouth, notes in the throat. Like your pharynx doesn't control what note you're hitting as directly as your vocal cords do. So if you can get your vocal cords into position, I think you should be able to get a note. Like if you do stuff with nasal airflow, it might make the note sound better, but doesn't nasality in no way to me seems directly related to actually making a note higher. In fact, people tend to, and this is not necessarily a good thing, when they go higher, they will lift up their soft palates, and that is exactly what they do in opera when they go higher. Like there's a study on it and everything. So I am not entirely sure what nasal airflow has to do with going higher. So how would you teach vibrato to someone who only has a straight tone? I finger train vibrato. I think I went over this last office hours, in case you forgot. No, I'm kidding. But you learn to let your larynx be really limp, and you dig in just the right amount with your fingers, and you start to sort of physical train your vibrato, like So that vibrato was like entirely my fingers. I wasn't doing that at all. And you start to do what I call let go of the training wheels, or let go, or take off the training wheels, and like you'll eventually, after doing a whole bunch of subconscious programming of vibrato like this, you need to make sure you get the right rate and everything. You let go and see if you can get it. There's a couple other things in there, and I could teach you, but I have to charge. So hopefully it's like what eventually happens. Like I want to keep that feeling that I've taught myself with my fingers going. A lot of people will do like and do vibrato like that. I think there are ways in which that could be helpful, but what I don't like about that approach is that it makes it look like vibrato pulsations are something that you teach consciously. Like, because you're consciously thinking about back and forth between these two notes, back and forth between these two notes. I am controlling this actively. And vibrato, I don't control consciously. It's just like a subconscious flutter. Like I turn it on and turn it off, and that I have full control over. But I don't have exact control over up, down, up, down, up, down. I can control like general speed and general amplitude, but I'm not thinking actively. I'm moving between this note and that note, this note and that note. Like every time I do it, I'm thinking flutter. It's like if you have like a tremor, like if I let my jaw shiver, like I'm not thinking up down with my jaw, I'm thinking tremor. Okay. So Dan shows, final part of the question is like, how do you actually do the distortion? So if your goal is to belt an F5, like I started off, like the highest I could belt when I first started was G4. So if I can get to an A5, bitch. So get to a comfortable place with belting where you want to growl, because I definitely recommend that you learn how to belt clean before you learn how to belt with growling, because it will become a crutch. There's too much copyright content in there, but I would look up the range video for Phyllis Hyman. Look up Phyllis Hyman vocal range and look at her belts, and as she gets to the top of her belting range, all her belts have growls on them because it makes the belt easier. So yeah, like I would look that up and help like internalize that. It makes it easier. But also as a reminder that you should learn it clean, because if you want to have that ability to do it clean, you need to get that first, so you don't develop this crutch by learning how to do it with distortion first. So that's first off. And then you can work on distortion separately. I do have like a cycle of things. Learn how to do it with like pushing with breath. So like like at first, learn how to do it pushing with breath, so you keep your vocal folds nice and apart and unengaged in this distortion. because if you squeeze too hard and get your vocal folds engaged in the distortion, they can hyper, like, clamp down, and the false folds can interfere with the vibratory pattern, getting these like uneven vibratory patterns where the vocal cords are moving asymmetrically, like smacking into each other. So distortion can be dangerous, but it's like breathing can be dangerous. You can choke and hurt your voice while breathing. Like, it's really, I don't think, the most dangerous thing to do with your voice ever. So yeah. No, I need to close that shit. Bye, ho. Bye. Okay, y'all are funny because y'all gonna have a million questions as soon, like, y'all gonna have a million questions tomorrow, and I'm not gonna answer none of them shits because y'all like to ask no questions during office hours. Yeah, you did have like a thick ass question. I recommend separating out your questions just so I remember to answer all of them. Krampus, you will always be my favorite. Krampus Nichan. Okay, so the closest thing I probably had. Amelia asks, have you ever had a vocal injury? And if so, what was my experience like? So the closest thing I had to vocal injury, and since this, I've had documented like gold star vocal health. I talk with a very weird asymmetrical vocal fold posture, which explains partly why my voice can be kind of creaky and why it sounds weird. But one time I had this idea where I was gonna like beatbox Ariana Grande's Honeymoon, and I was gonna use Kagura, which is like this kind of sound, to do it, and that can be pretty risky to do if you do it wrong. Which it's not hard to do right. It can be kind of like demanding and tiring, just because like to keep the false folds engaged that tightly for that long, just the contractile effort can be draining. But I was doing that, and I was like so excited about this idea because back then I thought my ass was gonna make it on The Voice because I was stupid. But I thought like, oh yeah, one day I'll get to do this on a singing competition. I'm never gonna make it on a singing competition. But I was doing that, and I felt my voice kind of being rubbed raw by it. Like I was doing exactly what I told Dan Show not to do. I was doing exactly what I told Dan Show not to do, which is squeeze for the false fold distortion. I was like squeezing for it as opposed to letting the air pressure mobilize my false folds. I was just trying to squeeze them and hyperextend them until they vibrated, just because I wanted to keep the sound going. And I would say my voice was raw for like maybe max 5 days and wasn't working exactly right. But after that, I think I was pretty much fine. And I did do some like lighter phonation type stuff. Like a lot of people do semi-occlusives, like trills, or like singing through a straw, which I'm not a super huge fan of. I think I used a lot of like fry type stuff, so I would let my voice kind of rest in M0 or fry. And only Xhosa women can do umqokolo. So I let my voice do kind of like sit there. And I think that helped my recovery more than just like not making any noise. And there's definitely a lot of an Ingo. I don't even know how to say his actual last name anymore because we keep calling like Ingo Titties. It's our nickname for him on the server. We love you, Ingo Titties. But a really important voice guy. I wish I could play that. Do you think I'll get in trouble? I don't know if I'll get in trouble for playing just this on the live stream. Nah, Honey's popular. I recovered, and I would say generally I'd recommend people do SLVTs or like creaky fry phonation to really heal the voice, because Ingo Titties, the godfather of voice, has come out. He has finally come out as my lover. Finally come out to say that light vocal activity is more recuperative than just inactivity, unless you have a vocal cord hemorrhage, which is funny because I was saying the exact same thing before, and I'm like, Ingo obviously is more resolute in this statement than I am, and he has a lot more data to back it up, but I was saying the same thing, like, unless you have a hemorrhage, you need to shut up and get back to like work, or like if your voice is well enough to talk, you need to do SLVTs, because these lazy ass host students will be like, oh no, I'm sick, I can't practice, achoo, and they'll like talk their ass off, and they'll still perform or whatever. It's like, but I can't practice. But it's like, no, if you practice, maybe your voice won't crumble every time you got like half a cold. I think fry can be helpful. You know what? You know what that is? You know what your speech therapist is doing? Okay, so Mia says, my speech therapist had me avoid too much fry and basically taught me fem voice minus the larynx raise for healing. And you know what exactly that is Seattle Voice Institute has a video on this that's kind of similar about glottal strikes. Voice, glottal. Your algorithms need Jesus. Algorithms need that work. That work. I don't know if I'll be able to play. I might be able to play like his live performance of Feeling Good. Okay, let me watch this. So while I load that video, Mia, what your therapist probably had you doing was like low glottal impact stuff, which makes some sense, actually. I don't think fry necessarily needs to be avoided, like if it's low intensity fry. I think if anything, it feels like a massage. But if you're doing like very like intense fry, like like we're doing stuff like that, maybe that's not great for healing, but like that's great for healing. At least, or that's soothing for me, at least when I feel like my voice is a little bit raw. So in the fem voice, probably like the open quotient in higher pitch was to avoid increased vocal cord collisions. So long term, do I think these behaviors are bad? No, I don't think fry in the long game is bad at all. 1 minute 39 seconds. But I think while you're healing, maybe that's a good strategy, is to avoid high impact glottal coordinations. Oh crap! Okay, that was too much. I played a whole lot. So yeah, no, did you link this at the exact time? Oh, you did link these at the exact times. Okay. So, that what I heard, I don't know, because there's multiple layers of vocals, and all bets are off when you get that, so I don't know. It sounded like somebody might have been doing like a roar. The background was basically like a false fold distortion with a very low larynx and big dramatic mouth shape, like, this is a roar! So, that was probably someone roaring in the background while he did lead. I don't know. Yes, Tampa and Tone. Okay. That's a lot. I don't think those are distortions. I don't know. So that's also false pole distortion. Okay, yeah. That is what I played, I believe. And I don't hear any distortion on Adam Lambert's part. Or, Adam Lambert. I'm going to say Adam Levine. Oh, breath support stuff. Breath support exists. But it's like, you need something to support. If you can't hit a note, you can't support a note that doesn't exist. So breath support is great for maintaining and sustainably performing a note that you can hit. But breath support's not going to teach you how to hit a note. It's like, it's great to keep your car clean. So getting car freshener is great. And getting like one of those organizer bins, or like those CD things that go on the not rear view mirror, the little like back view mirror, like that's great if you can deck out your car and you have that stuff and you have that like spray that's like new car scent. But you don't have a car, you can't have a clean, fresh car. Like you need the car before you have the materials to make that. Like you need the car. Like people out here acting like breast support will really like make you Mariah or something. It's like, no, it'll help you sustainably sound like Mariah, but breast support, like in and of itself, does not give you the range, it doesn't give you the texture, it doesn't give you anything but the ability to do what you do better. So I would say if your question is like range of color, because you can have like not great breast support and have a couple like good notes that aren't like super supported or whatever. No, Krampus, you cannot be making us. You cannot disgrace your entire family like this on this server. No. It's understandable because the whole thing of SLVT. I mean, I hate you more for doing straw phonation than doing trills. I hate you for choosing straw phonation over trills, and I hate you more for that than being trash that flips mechanisms at B2. Bitch, B2! B2! I want a divorce. Why you might flip, but like, can people try these trills though? Can people try these trills? So I think straw phonation is a great, like, not great, it's a good-ish suggestion of what to do with, you flipped into M2 at birth. It's a good suggestion of how to handle your voice, like, but the straw doesn't compel you to do what SLVT is about, in my opinion, as much as these trills. Like the brrr, brrr. Okay, fine, I can maybe give you that. But the trills, I think, more compel you to lax up on vocal cord tension in order to allow the excess air through to create the trill. I have a theory that babies scream in M1. I feel like this sound, like that's more of a convincing baby to me than the second one's M2. The first one's M1. And just thinking of like the standpoint of a colicky baby, like, are you gonna scream in M2 on some pussified shit? Like, no, you want that titty now, so you gonna scream in M1. Yes, I do look forward to hearing the extraneous sounds that you can make. But don't forget, also do SLVT type stuff. That can help your voice recover quicker than complete vocal rest. Unless you have a hemorrhage, vocal rest is not necessarily the best standard of recovery. But yeah, also I understand the rest from the standpoint of like I'll do SFETs, but then not super intensive stuff. Nice. Oh my god, I might, because you gathered all the Dragon Balls in here today, I might sing. Actually, no, I can't because copyright strike. I'll do it after. I don't know anything. I might just sing the. I think it's fine for me to sing the. Yeah, of course it's fine for me to sing the melody. Yeah, it's fine for me to sing the melody, but I don't think I can use like a karaoke track. I just like mashed up "Listen" and "Hero" by Mariah Carey in my head. Listen, the song here in my heart, and Lord knows. What was I gonna say? I was answering something. Potentially, Corey. Potentially. Corey asked, what's my issue that the straws cause too much back pressure and make my folds adduct way too much? Potentially, because like I don't think straws are as strong of a suggestion. I think putting a straw in someone's mouth, you can just do the same thing that you do. You might as well just be like, close your lips. Like, there's nothing inherently about having a straw in your mouth that'll make you like sing through it. I get what the ultimate goal is, but it's a lot more open-ended to me than doing a trill. In order to get the trill, you need some level of air pressure pushing on that, and to create that air pressure, you're going to want to like have your vocal folds not be as tight so air can get through. So you can create that air pressure to create the trill. So I like trills better, but nobody cares what I think. And don't forget, if you watching on YouTube, if you could like throw me a like and a subscribe and a share and to turn notifications on. It's only one in life. Thank you, Mia. Ten more minutes, y'all. Hoes are asking questions. Let's see what else is happening. I am so tired. Oh, I never got to the whole like glottal chink. Yes, potentially. You can do that inside of Mix 2. The definitions are always like Mix 2, falsetto, head voice inside of M2. I don't have strict scientific, numerical, or whatever definitions for them. So it's a little bit more relative when you're arguing this kind of stuff. But it's definitely possible. What you're describing is definitely possible. And even if she's using falsetto, there's nothing wrong with that because she's using it on purpose. She has actual control over M2 and is choosing to use it. And you can hear that in how like someone uses falsetto. Like a falsetto from some out of control dude, bro, it's gonna sound like this. Usually be breathy and like thinner than is even artistically palatable. But then when someone is using F2, what the hell? M2 falsetto on purpose, you get something like, I'm doing this on purpose. It's a beautiful thinness. I like that thinness. For online open mics, I don't know nothing about no mics. You better ask Krampus. Do I sound like I know about mics? Listen to my shit cut doing the belt. Listen to this. Ah! I'm sure that distorted. I hate you. You can leave, Dan Show. Ain't great. Don't bite the larynx that feeds you. Right. I'm gonna stop answering, like, when you people try to tag me and shit or whatever. I'm gonna stop answering your little questions if you don't want to ask nothing during office hours. Whoop! Damn, I didn't know Nick was throwing out money like that. Well, you need to get open vowels. And when the vowels are sufficiently open, your throat will actually open and you can reach in and remove your larynx. So you will never sing from your throat ever again. Only from the mask. Mask sold separately. I need to do better, like actually looking at the camera when I do these little shits. Yeah. Let's do some live spec stuff. Barismus. Let me just search Barismus and hope this shit comes up. Please. Really? I don't have a good, like, spectral stat. Whoa, that's really weird. Whoa. Okay, sorry, I just learned about some new spectral behavior. Can y'all see the spectrum pretty good? Can y'all see it pretty cute? Can you see it real crude? Let me see what this is looking like. Yeah, I think it's... Ooh, no, Lord, no God. Return to sender on that one. You must think about that one again. God, no! I just want to live my life. Okay. Now I'm going to show the spec again. Okay. So. So, C5. Tenor high C. Let's do that in mix then belt. So. On this, I am not getting a lot of difference, except there's more apiaricity in the belt. This one isn't that good, but what I'm also noticing is this formant seems to be decayed while that one isn't. So there's this emphasizing a formant harmonic. There's the emphasizing of the second harmonic that doesn't happen. In the just for general difference between M2 and M1, in the premium section I have a spec of me hitting M1, M2, M3 all in the same note back to back, and you can look at some of the spectral things that exhibits, because there's definitely like very marked differences. Right now I'm talking about spectral differences between M1 and Mix 2. I've talked about the ones between M1 and M2, and that's available in the premium section, but let me talk about the difference between Mix 2 and M1. What was I going to use? Just to demonstrate flute tunes. So, oh, that's B4. So I'm doing nice, loud M2 mix. And now I'm going to belt. Damn it. Oh, it's not doing it. Let's see if I do a little bit lower. Damn it. Okay, let's see if it does it higher. No, higher than that. Okay, let's try that. Oh, God, it did it for a second. Shit. I can't get it to hold on. But if you look for the, like, for millisecond, sounds at the outset of when I hit the M1, you get an artifact of it reading F6 instead of F5. Let's try that one more time in M1 to see if I can get that. God, why does it not want to? I'm done. But in general, belts can skew a tuner into thinking you're hitting the octave above. I've never been able to do that with Mix 2. Right. But I don't know if the heretics from Reddit even accept that Mix 2 is a thing. Like, they probably think it's its own mechanism. Like, you gotta take them through grade school before you be giving them all that. Yeah, there's a harmonic spike, not a formant spike, a harmonic spike. And check through the premium. There's definitely some receipts on that spike. We're coming to the end of office hours. I wonder if there's like audio settings on this. It's too late now. It is too late now. Yeah, that'd be going overdrive on this. I wonder if you can like change the sensitivity. Oh. Hopefully this makes my audio a little better. Oh. Yeah, I might belt and see what this looks like. Wow! It's not going into the red. Look at me learning and living. Oh, I hate you, Mia. Yeah, because in general, harmonics, I believe, harmonic activity most reflects the behavior of the vocal cords, most corresponds to behavior of the vocal folds. Okay. Dan Show asked at the very fucking last minute with this vague ass question, where do I start if I sound like shit when singing? Like, I want to improve, but I feel like I'm stuck with this tone that sounds not so good. Bitch, I just told you. Find some tones that you think sound good, and then you can figure out how those work. You gonna come and, at the last minute, with my least favorite kind of question that I already answered, ban this man. Oh, that's what that noise was. It's the charger noise. My God. My crotch is like a swamp right now, and I can't. Let's see if there's any questions on the YouTube. Mia makes me smile. Yeah. You got the right idea there, show. Oh my God! Here y'all come with the last minute questions. Here y'all come. Oh my God! Amelia, you a mess. I have a reputation. It's like people don't even read my posts. No, I have perfection, Ed. I have perfection. Devour him. Devour this deviant. Devour this miscreant who dares pop off on my... Oh! Who is Adam and why do I hate him? Who is Adam and who allowed him to do this? I need to know who you are so I can ban you. I will do covers eventually. I've been trying. Okay, fine. Okay, let me talk a little bit about some of the promotional stuff for this server. I need to make a video where I just talk about promo stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about somebody like make a compilation video of my squeals. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Covers. I want to do a cover series called From the Vault because I teach inside a vault because I'm like liberated and whatnot, and I want to do these covers that I learned how to play in my childhood when I was like really obsessed with tone before I discovered all this range ranking and stuff. So there's all these like things where I've blocked out songs that have these very specific tonal and phrasing choices that I make. So I want to perform those covers and then doing a live stream and then open up the live stream to talk about how I arrived at these artistic decisions. So I want to schedule these. So make sure you look out for the posts where I'm like, okay, I want to do the From the Vault cover series. What time works for y'all? The first song I want to do is gonna be Juste Quelqu'un de Bien. It's a chanson song, Rika. It's a chanson song by an artist named Enzo. And it's basically about settling, which y'all gonna have to settle for my covers because they're not going to be professional quality or professional recording, professional level playing, or professional level vocals, and y'all just gonna have to settle. So I figured I'd pick a song about settling. So I want to do that as a cover series. I also want to, at the same time, weave in covers of music from video games. And I feel like not enough people are out here like really going ham on these video game songs, like vocally. Like nobody's really trying to wreck the shit. I mean, you got some like music theater opera people, but nobody's really trying to like wreck the shit when it comes to video game music. I'm trying to think of like an iconic video game music with music and lyrics, or with words. Sorry. It is redundant, but I don't know what to call that, Mia. Like, that is literally the name of the genre. I did not write these words. I didn't make this. I did not choose this life. Let me link the Wikipedia. Because y'all coming at me like I made the French language this way. Chanson genre. Like, literally, this is what the genre is called. I know French, Mia. I know what chanson means. But that is literally the name of the style. I don't know. Like literally, the people that do chansons are called singers. Like, in French. I did not make these rules. I don't know why people want to correct it like I'm the one that came up with the... You need to take up this issue with the French language. Yes, I will definitely consider that. I learned how to play that at one point, and I did have a cover. I'm not sure if I vocally blocked it though. And I'll try to maybe even make my vocal blocking notes available. Like I'm gonna put like here I make this decision. Yeah, sure. I'm about to mix you with acid. Don't touch me. Okay. I don't know that one. I only know Still Alive. I don't know if I ever really played or watched Portal 2 because honestly, most of it was me watching it get played. I have like some Portal skills, but not really like that. Can I? No, too lazy to link my Instagram cover of And I'll Always Love You. And just the fifth octave. let me see what happens if you start it off. Like M1 first octave. Oh my god. No. What's this is so awful. Unbearable. Something I've been trying to work on for my own voice is I want to be able to not as much bounce between either doing these very Shaka Khan type upper belts or doing these sort of Ariana Grande-y upper belts. I want to be able to do more stuff in the middle because I feel like I default to either like a very Shaka Khan like or like very very like dramatic, a lot of twang, or doing like Aretha and all them Patti LaBelle, or doing like a very like pulled, restrained, it doesn't sound quite like her because she doesn't go like that high. I'll think like that kind of like very wimpy sounding, very pulled back. I've been trying to work on something like in the middle ground of those two. That was a little bit breathy. Oh shit, did I get a breathy whistle? Level up. Okay, I'll take a couple of y'all want me to do some like vocal wanking stuff, really short vocal wanking tasks. Oh no, like you can't necessarily request songs or like oh god, I fixed it! Oh my god, the blasphemy of it all. I feel real bad because like in 2009 I was like obsessed. Like I loved and respected I think Whitney Houston's a great singer, but I just love the spectacle of like the audience of Whitney in her prime, like just the suspension of disbelief with how her voice sounded like then, and something like personal against Whitney, but it was so hilarious like watching these concerts where people would be like crying because it feels like the original kind of vocals and Whitney. Oh, I'm sorry. But like 2009, that shit was my shit. I just love watching the spectacle of like people being moved to tears by performance. It's like And will always love you. And people in the audience, that's my girl, Whitney. That's my girl. Move me, move me, move me. Will always love you. And people in the audience will be like, this is taking me back to the 80s. Or whatever. No, that came out in the 90s. Oh, I'm just like coming for Whitney in several dimensions right now. I need to stop. The estate of Whitney Houston is about to take me out, y'all. Can I imitate Taylor Swift? I do not know her voice by heart while I'm imitating it. I could just be like try to be really Becky and then put a little bit of country on it, maybe. But as she's starting to completely lose any kind of country vocal mannerism she ever had as she goes more and more into like the deep end of pop. Was it fixable though? I'm sorry, I was just like ranting about Whitney. Was it fixable? I don't know, because like these like vocal health is not talked about adequately. Like as much as like the nation had a stake in wanting to know about Whitney Houston's voice, and you know that shit was publicized. And just in interviews when she ever talked about her voice, she just never said anything, and nobody ever says anything in Hollywood that sounds like they have talked to somebody that gave them good advice or really took a thorough look at their voice and what the state of it was and what they needed to do and how they could bridge the gap between like where your voice is and you being able to execute these tasks. Because a lot of these, I'm sure most ENTs can tell like the state of your voice, like in terms of, does it have nodules, does it have podules, does it have cysts, does it have what's the atrophy, does it have phonotrauma, and does it have like a cord bleed? Like they can tell these things, but, or does it have chronic inflammation? They can tell all these things, but they have no shit diddly squat clue about what people actually need from their voices to perform, because they don't care to understand performances. My thing is like, no, does an ENT necessarily need to know how to take care of like Whitney Houston's voice? But no, if you're gonna be like a doctor to the stars, like you need to know what stars do with their voices and like how that works. A whiny woman who's all like fuck like with her career is like is Taylor Swift's career just an FU to the Bechdel test? Oh my god. So Whitney Houston became a baritone in her later life. Confirmed. Okay, so yeah, it is kind. Well, I thought they were fighting over a man. I don't even know. Let me not act like I know. But so it's hard to know because she just did not seem to be surrounded by people that were actually telling her physiologically what was happening with her voice. Because she made some comments about how she's gonna like fix it by swimming or something like that. Or no, Clive Davis made comments that Whitney said this. It could be a misattribution, but she just didn't seem that people in her camp that were really breaking this shit down for her. If it came from chronic smoking, I don't know if behavioral interventions would be enough to fix her voice. If it came from chronic smoking, if it came from chronic damage, like just abuse of her voice, like the way Mariah Carey's voice is more declined, just because of chronic use, I think that you can recover from most likely. But if it came from smoking, I just have not seen the data. Maybe it's possible. I haven't worked with enough like people that are chronic smokers. Like usually, like they are chronic smokers, but they are like in the beginning phases of that shit. Like I haven't worked with someone who has smoked for like years and has suffered the long-term vocal effects and then has reversed those with training. Like I haven't worked with people who even have like I've kind of worked with someone who has, but she's not really my student. She's like another person who sings that I'm friends with, and sometimes we'll talk about stuff. So I would lean towards no with Whitney Houston when it comes to full recovery, But I think there could have been like more. You could have gotten more out of her voice. I think she even tried to like re-specialize. I think she did a great job of finding a new lane of her voice with runs, and like phrasing and stuff. Taylor Swift bloodbath. Oh, okay. Oh, Mia is an assassin in these comments. How do I not sound like a goat like vibratoing? If you sound like a goat while vibratoing, you probably have a hammer vibrato, which is basically glottal pulsations instead of laryngeal tilting. So laryngeal vibrato is like kind of goaty. Hammer vibrato is like A lot of people will try to use the hammer vibrato because you can kind of it's easier for some people to learn than the laryngeal. But if it sounds like a go, you're probably doing the hammer, and the hammer's completely physically unrelated from how you do the laryngeal vibrato. So scrap the vibrato and learn how to do laryngeal vibrato from scratch. Don't try to like fix your hammer vibrato into a laryngeal vibrato. Her subject matter doesn't. If I think of all Sia's songs are usually about dealing with her demons. Like I can't think of like anything else, but dealing with these like demons from her immature days, like recovering from her party girl ways or saving the child within herself or whatever. Tends to be about what even her like pre breakthrough. I'm thinking about like the songs that she did with 07, and her songs were still about that. Diamonds that she wrote for Rihanna. I would say though that she's musical, but also I would say a lot of people tend to write about one subject matter. Adele will be writing about the same breakup from like 15 years ago, and Taylor Swift be writing about the breakup of the week, and what is that? What is the thumbnail? I can't even. Oh, it's a pony. It's a Sia pony. I was trying to read it. It's like, is that a human? Does it need help? Does it need milk? But yeah, Sia was. It's like par for the course. So people just writing about the same kinds of subject matter. I think she writes about the subject matter in a lot of different ways. So I give her points for that, and I also give her points for her songwriting pre-breakthrough. I think she's like trying to vamp a lot of what has worked for her, which I mean, all that money on the line, I don't blame her. But when you include what she has written for other people, she like Pretty Hurts, Diamonds. What else did she write? Nah, she didn't write Stay. What else did she write? I cannot think of what else she wrote. But the stuff that she writes, I think spans genres, or not sub-styles in the same genre. I don't think she's completely retready. Can I deconstruct Sia's voice? Y'all coming with these last minute questions. See, you could ask this shit in the beginning. Well, I'm not going to get too mad at Corey because he actually asked questions, unlike half y'all hoes. So, I'm staying way past what I said I would because the turnout is super good. So if you can reward me by giving me a like and a share and a subscribe, that would be nice. Spread the word. I want to get this conversation going, and I would like to actually have questions answered in a video so people can just like show, oh yeah, he answered this question, watch this video, or come get your question answered, and maybe not DM him asking for free voice lessons. So Sia's voice, I would say the number one thing I like about it is it's brassy, but it's like this, everything else about it is not what you would expect from a brassy voice. So like her voice is brassy. So if I sing normal, see a song called, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm just gonna sing a line from it, and then without brassy, and then with brassy. So for those of you who don't know what brassy is, you can hear the difference. So I lie away in my hotel dressing gown. So I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. So that is without brassy, but then it is with brassy. It's like, I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. So that thickness versus brassy, not brassy, hopefully I did a good isolation, because I tend to like do vowel mods while I do brassy as well, so sometimes it's hard for me to isolate just note with brassy, note without also changing the vowel. So it's okay, Steve, I still love you. Maybe you should have made yourself some of the tea in that song. So, Sia has this brassy texture, which is like so awesome. It's so thick and juicy. But then she does this weird, very organic phrasing, these like vowel distortions, like, I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown, like gown. Like she pronounces stuff weird. I don't know if that's how she would exactly do that phrase. But she has these like vowel bends that are interesting and not heard often with people with brassy. When you think brassy, you think these like what's it? Like quintessential Motown-y soul singers, like the Aretha Franklins, the Patti LaBelles, the Shaka Khans. Let me think of a really iconic song that, or like male examples include CeeLo Green from Gnarls Barkley, and who's it again? One of the Isley brothers, or both the Isley brothers, I don't know. But what is a song that I can quickly demonstrate it? And Amy Winehouse, it's a sound that Amy Winehouse copied. Some use Amy Winehouse for y'all Caucasian hoes who don't know enough of the songs of these other people. So, Amy Winehouse song with brassy. So, they try to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, apparently CeeLo is involved in some Me Too-ery, so that's sad. I mean, like not sad. It's like, how dare you call him out for the wrong thing they did? But it's like sad that like somebody who was actually entertaining, had a good voice, had to be a dick and become a problematic fave. I'd be mad though if he doesn't attempt any of the belting. Yeah, I'd be so mad if he doesn't attempt the belt though. Like if he just like goes to M2 for the entire upper octave. Like, I want to swing from the chandelier, from the chandelier. I'm gonna be so mad if that's what that ends up being. Good. Okay. So, because that's some like weak sauce Caucasian shit. Yeah, a lot of people are used to like brassy being used like this, like very aggressive R&B soul gospel phrasing, but she uses this very alternative phrasing. I love you, I do. I only make jokes to distract myself. from the truth. Like but she still like does runs and has some kind of like respect for R&B and soul type vocals. Like she will belt and she will do riffs and she will give like aggression in the phrasing. But he said it switched octaves halfway through. So I respect Sia a lot because she brings some of that like Caucasian shit to these like soulful vocals, the soulful like vocal mod. But she also respects what already exists in the genre, where she's not like, well, I have a belting range that goes up to G-2 and I can do a riff consisting of -15 notes. So yeah, I'm like the hottest soul artist of the year. I'm totally crossing over. Let me write for these Beyoncés and Rihannas. Like, no, she actually gives you vocals for real, and I respect the shit. So yeah, that's my analysis of Sia. Oh God, my shirt just stuck to the wall. Now I'm over here being fucked up. Oh, the last thing I really like about her is her spontaneous aspirate breaks. Like, I wish she had more control over them. I don't necessarily need her to use them the way Mariah does, who's like the queen of controlled aspirate breaks. But I like the roughness with which she uses them. But it's always like hard because you're like on the edge of your seat, being like, does this mean that like the second half of the concert is going to be canceled, or is she like being expressive and her voice is just raw? But the kinds of breaks that she gets, like instead of breakless, it'll be like, I wanna swing from the chandelier. Like, so instead of doing that, like clean, no breaks, be like, I wanna swing from the chandelier. Like her voice will like cut out, and there's these like harsh aspirate breaks. But the way she does it, you can't necessarily tell, like, is this coming from just not innate, but like ingrained phrasing choices, or is it coming from the immediate demise of her voice? This is coming from, we're gonna go low. We're gonna go low. Okay, that is all for you hoes. Ooh, did someone subscribe? Someone, a bitch better have subscribed. Thank you, Adam, whoever you are, with your horrible question. And in fact, I answer your... Okay. Yes, Satan. Yes! Clock the T. Okay, I think I am gone. But I don't know how to stop this shit. I love this. Stream status bad. YouTube knows. I'm not cute. Wait, no. What? How is it only an hour and 4 minutes? I've been at this. Has the stream cut? How's it only an hour and 4 minutes? Well, anyways, I've done an hour, and that is my assigned custody of you children. So until next week, logistical announcements. July 4th, open mic. Sign up. It's in the description of this video. Ain't no reason to not sign up. If you want your questions to get priority, where I will give you more thorough answers, ask them on Stack Exchange. There's a link for how to do that in the description of this video as well. And catch us next. Us. I carry the whole team on my back. Ain't no us. Wouldn't be no us if it wasn't for me. Okay, I think that is it for announcements. Oh, this Sunday, you can pick what vowels and what notes and what mechanism that I do in order to free the vowel. Help me free the vowel and prove that it is not necessary to use vowel mods to hit whatever note. Yes, vowel mods can make interesting aesthetic choices, but you can use whatever vowel you want on whatever note. So you can actually sing in the English language. Congratulations. Bye.